Hello my soccer universe, how do you like my new hoodie? This was actually a present from my wife for Valentine's Day, and since it wasn't a jersey I didn't do an unpacking, but absolutely love it. Got its first outing yesterday, and wouldn't you know it, it got the first win of the new year in the league, because we already beat Salzburg in the cup. Second win, things look positive in an overall really interesting round. I'm still not sure whether top 6 is quite yet safe or whether this is even a goal that should be achieved, because as I said in the last video, for me it should be all about the cup at the moment, because that will get you the goal with only 2 more games to win, although those games won't be the easiest ones. But on the positive side, a win against Rapid for me, of all the possible opponents that we have in the Austrian Bundesliga, wins against Rapid count the most for me. So that makes me happy. The game itself, we'll talk about it later on, was one that actually was a lucky halftime lead, but in the second half you actually have to make it a real romp at Rapid, and you missed to do that. So it was just a regular but good win overall. I said it already, it was overall also quite an interesting round, not only for the top 6 where LASK is now in pole position, but also on top, because suddenly Sturm is 3 points clear again. Salzburg got their first win of the new year as well, and what a win that was, a rather impressive one. At high-flying Austria Vienna, their winning streak is now over, and even Wolfsberg, who looked so imperious in the first 2 games, beating Rapid and Sturm Graz. They only managed a 3-3 draw in the last second against lowly Tirol, meaning in this league everything is possible. The league got a whole lot tighter. I always say the Austrian Bundesliga is actually quite interesting. Of course, there's the issue that maybe not too many Austrian players are in there as well, and you know, sustainability and European performances. But if you just are in the little bubble watching the league is rather exciting. So let's review a rather exciting round. Ahead of the game against GRK, all the headlines surrounding Klagenfurt were all about potential financial trouble that might result in them not getting the playing license for next season, and them saying everything is within boundaries. So we gotta watch that space as well. At least on the pitch, they got the 3 points against GRK, and overall a convincing performance as well. They had a 2-0 lead already in the 60th minute. However, then they let GRK back in the game, Maderna and Jano scoring 2 goals to peg it back to 2-2 in the 73rd minute. This GRK team did not play well in the first half, much better in the second half, but it was not enough because they commit penalties. And first penalty, Bobzin steps up, penalty saved however on the rebound, he puts it in the net, and then there's another penalty given as well. I think Klagenfurt were good for that win, especially on the back of the first half. Second half a little bit tighter, but 3 points for Klagenfurt. GRK still not clear from relegation trouble. It was the top game of the round, and hopes at Austria Vienna were high to finally beat Salzburg again after beating them in 2018 at the last game of the season. A game that didn't really count because Salzburg were already champions at that point. Alas, Salzburg get the first win of the season, and a rather convincing one. Should have been more, based on what we saw from the game, that this measly 1-0 win through an Oskar Gloch goal in the 7th minute. They had plenty of more chances, had even a goal disallowed for an offside where VAR couldn't draw the lines, and so it could not be overturned and count as a goal for Salzburg. It was a really tight one. I also saw there was late on a 3-on-1 where Yeo made a rather stupid decision to go for the goal instead of finding his teammates. But I guess this is the world that we are living in, that everyone is for themselves. However, it also has to be said very clear, the game could have gotten a wholly different direction when in the 4th minute Baidu is sent off, because Nick Prelec was more or less through on goal and he takes him down, and a yellow card is not enough, although there wasn't much of a foul either. I get that, but it was enough to prevent a clear goal scoring opportunity, so that could have turned the game. On the other side, we saw a lot of the things that made Salzburg great. I don't want to say Salzburg is back, they have to back that up now, but this was a big step in giving Salzburg some confidence again. Not something I necessarily want to see. After beating Sturm Graz at home, everyone thought that Wolfsberg are going now for the title. They are a top title candidate, and then they only managed a 3-3 against Tirol. Not out of character, because they are very good against the top teams and not so good at the lower teams. But on the other side, they probably should have gotten the win, because for the first 70 minutes they were the better team, took the lead through Jasic, who also scored the second goal, his first brace in the Bundesliga, and the only goal they conceded came a little bit out of nowhere through Lawrence in the 24th minute. However then, former Austrian national team player Lucas Hinterseher comes on for Tirol and turns the game around, getting the equalizer in the 84th minute and giving them the lead in the 91st minute. However, it was also no win for WSG Tirol, who showed a lot of spirit and I think a much better performing team than their current standings would suggest. But they give away a hands penalty. I mean, give away, the ball hits him on a cross in, was a rather weird one, and then Alessandro Schöpf, also from Tirol, steps up and scores his second ever Bundesliga goal, and it ends in a 3-3 draw. Again, Altach only managed a 0-0 draw at home against Hartberg. They cannot buy themselves a win at home, even though all the statistics are speaking more in their favor. And this time they were even for more than 50 minutes with a man more. Although Komposch's sending off was a rather ridiculous one. There was a little bust up in the middle, but there was nothing really bad. However, the referee said, by rule, if players are getting together in an argument, I have to give a yellow card to at least one player of each team. And those two were the ones that were going at each other the most, but they were not even touching. So that red card was a ridiculous one by referee Altmann. Ridiculous also the miss by Diawara in the last minute. Altach really had a hard time breaking down Hartberg, but there he has it, a point blank chance, and he hits it and it goes somewhere. I'm not even sure if it went over the goal line. Absolute ridiculous miss by Diawara. But yeah, if you cannot do it in offense, Hartberg kept it tight. Therefore they won that point, but it's also only the third point in the new year. They have not lost, they have not won so far, and so top 6 becomes a much harder challenge for them. Sturm Graz finally have their first Bundesliga win of the new year. They actually won against Leipzig in the Champions League, so we never should forget that. And they looked overall convincing. That it was only a 2-1 scoreline at home to Blau-Weiss Linz was a little bit of a fluke, because for most of the time they played much better. Once they had a 2-0 halftime lead, they maybe let it slide too much, and then the late goal by Pasic in the 83rd minute made it tighter than it needed to be, and even then they hit the post and could have made it 3-1. The goals came through a penalty by Otar Kitashvili, fouled by Goiginger in the box, pretty clear penalty, and then a really nice attack where a ball comes over Jatta to Yalkue. Both actually wanted to take the shot, but Yalkue takes the shot. 2-0 just before the halftime break. Sturm Graz, 3-point distance now to Austria Vienna, looking better, and you know, if they go on a roll, the defending champions might also be the new champions. Given the status over the last few years, LASK against Rapid definitely was the top billing of the round. However, both teams were a little bit in crisis. LASK have not won in the new year in the league and were winless since late November, and Rapid have not won since November in the league. So both needing the points, and there were also quite some injuries for LASK, but I really have to say that whatever Coach Schopp put up worked quite well. I really liked how Lang was playing. Berisha in midfield gave more energy, and with Horvath and Ljubic, you were rather solid, I gotta say. And also young Cisse, thrown into central defense, played an absolute beauty of a game. Having said all that, I think for at least the first 30 minutes, after a chance by Deneran, I think this is how he wants to be called. In the 4th minute, Rapid controlled the game and had good chances, especially one by Bolla, where Smolcic got his back in to have it deflected. And then there was also a crossing where Kara deflects it but cannot get it on goal. And overall, Rapid having more of the game, LASK a little bit more dangerous on counter-attack, but I felt, ooh, this is a tight one. And then Oswald, under pressure by Deneran, is giving away the ball to Lang, who just came from Rapid, who runs straight on goal, scores the 1-0 in the 31st minute. The first goal scored in the new year on our side of the stadium, to boot. It was a little bit of a surprise lead, but it felt good. And that actually settled LASK quite some. especially then in the second half. LASK came out pressing and had plenty of opportunities to double or triple the lead. I'm looking at one where Oswald again loses the ball. Lang plays it over to Entrup, clear 1-on-1 with Rapid, and it's saved by goalie Gartler, who was in for Hedel, who was banned because of an offensive gesture during the derby, as he was on probation already. Not to our disadvantage, although it was also not a disadvantage as some players for Rapid were missing, like Bellio especially. The biggest chance then came to a Adenauer, where goalie Gartler wants to play a pass over but completely mishits it, and Adenauer has the empty net in front of him but also a little bit off the goal, and so goalie Gartler saves it again. And then was another one by Entrup in there. It should have been done and dusted by the 60th minute. Then Wurmbrand comes on. Rapid had in a short period where they were dangerous. Seidel takes a shot from the edge of the box where goalie Laval just tips it with his hands onto the post. That was the biggest chance by Rapid. There was also another one where he really nicely saves it, and then comes George Bellows. Big moment, and I cannot tell you how happy I was for him to finally score this goal. An absolute beauty. He works so hard, but he's so unlucky in the final third, because sometimes he chooses to pass when he probably should shoot, or when he shoots he better should have passed. But he has a lot of power. I really like the way he's playing, because a lot of danger is coming actually from that left side, but he often doesn't reward himself. This time he rewarded himself with a Horvath corner that is clear towards Bello. He is now on the circle around the box, takes it down and yanks it into the upper corner via the inside of the post into the net, not deflected. This is one of those goals that you don't see that often anymore. Absolute peach of a goal. That settled the game, didn't it? Well, in the 90th minute, Radulovic pulls one back. Rapid and really tried everything. There were some nervy moments, but in the end, LASK routinely saw it over. Big 3 points. Big win. I was happy. Let's put it that way. And so was the family. So if we look now at the table, and I want to start for once at the bottom. I mean, GRK have lost, Altach got a point where they should have probably won, but it's still rather tight in there. And while Klagenfurt and Tirol pick up the points and are now lifting themselves away from the bottom two, since points will be halved, this will get tight again. Hartberg have not won either so far, so yeah, I'm not sure if they will fall, but they have looked much better, and same thing goes for Blau-Weiss Linz, who only got a measly point so far this year. But after 3 games we really cannot make any sweeping statements. But we already have moved into mid-table. LASK is now in pole position, a point ahead of Blau-Weiss Linz, a point ahead of Hartberg. It is possible, we look at the upcoming games soon, that we could have a 4-point cushion. Not likely, but it's possible. If we have the 4-point cushion going into the last 2 games, I believe in the top 6. However, it's only a 1-point cushion going into the last game, or if it remains tight, I'm not so sure, because LASK have to play now Klagenfurt away from home, which is the favorite opponent. We have not even drawn there for a long time. However, that streak is probably bound to come to an end. We then play Tirol at home, a Tirol team that I find a little bit resurgent, and then Sturm away, which I don't expect any points. Blau-Weiss Linz have to play Tirol at home, so same opponent as LASK, and Wolfsberg away, and then Hartberg at home, so also quite interesting. And Hartberg have to play Wolfsberg and Rapid at home, also not easy opponents, although Wolfsberg definitely want to push maybe for a potential championship. So this is my hope, that they take points of Blau-Weiss and of Hartberg. LASK are also only 3 points behind Rapid. Is it possible to catch Rapid? Rapid have a really easy schedule running in. They now play Altach, then they have Hartberg, and then they have GRK at home, so I don't think it will be possible to catch Rapid, although in the form they are currently in, will be interesting. Wolfsberg, I don't think will make a title push, although they have done really well against the top 6, so maybe I shouldn't speak too early. They now let a little bit slip. Sturm Graz have now a 3-point cushion again over Austria Vienna, as Austria Vienna suffered their 4th defeat this season, but their long unbeaten run finally has come to an end. I still think Austria Vienna with Dragovic will be a different proposition, so it seems like it's a title race. It's not quite clear. I mean, Sturm Graz have to be considered the favorites. They've been there, they've done that, however they lost a lot of important players, and Salzburg is also not really up to snuff. However, it will also get tighter again. I think Salzburg, if they get a run together, still could win that darn thing, which would be ridiculous given how their season has gone. I said it already, the upcoming game for LASK is away to Klagenfurt. Usually the favorite opponent. Sometimes those streaks come to an end, and at the same time Blau-Weiss Linz is playing against Tirol. So this could tell us a whole lot about the top 6 already, and it will also depend on what Hartberg will do against Wolfsberg. Austria Vienna and Rapid should get 3 points each in that round, however you never know. And then we ended with Salzburg hosting Sturm Graz. I think this will be a major duel because Salzburg is now feeling themselves a little bit after winning at Austria Vienna, and they really want to hit back at Sturm Graz after being defeated 5-0 in the fall. However, I will still hand it a little bit to Sturm Graz. So that was it from me, from a very exciting round 19 in the Austrian Bundesliga. Only 3 games left, and I still don't know what to make of it all. I just know that the Austrian Bundesliga is exciting, as I've said many times before. Please let me know your thoughts on this round in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Also, if you have any questions regarding the Austrian Bundesliga or you want to hear a little bit more from me, also drop a question below. Always happy to answer these, and I will talk to you soon about more things in my Austrian Bundesliga universe. Bye! Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!